Hey everyone, it's Lori from the Watchman's Midnight Hour, and now I just call myself Lori's Watchman Midnight Hour. Lori's Watchman Midnight Hour. Yeah, I get way too many guys thinking that I'm a guy, or even women. So I don't know. Most men probably don't even bother looking at the channel to see, if it's a guy or a girl. But it's kind of funny. Girls are, I think, a little more discerning and willing to look and see what we've got going, in regards to who is speaking. But I want to say a few things, actually a couple things, but I'm going to do them in various messages. I'm not going to put it all into one. I believe we're at the time now that 2 to 3 or even 5-minute messages are the best and frequent messages. So I am going to speak to the issue of Ocotillo wells. I saw multiple earthquakes starting to happen today, and I looked it up, and this is what it said. There's no volcanoes in Ocotillo wells. I was actually, looking specifically to see if there were volcanoes as an issue. It said the park features the gas domes, mysterious volcano-like mud pots of bubbling liquid and gas. This about made me fall over and faint. Yeah, right. But I just want to say, last week I actually had a really good nap. I don't normally get naps, but the Lord must have, because he wanted to say something. He wanted to make a point about something. And so it was quiet. I had a 2-hour nap. And in this nap, towards the end, I dreamt of looking down. I was sitting down, like possibly, I would say I was probably in like a camping type chair. So I was low to the ground, or even a beach type chair. But I'm looking down and I'm seeing literally volcano-like mud pots of bubbling liquid and gas. You know what's interesting was they call it mysterious. They don't know why they're doing that. Well, I dreamt of that, where I looked down and I saw these bubbling, it's just exactly what those words were. And then I knew I needed to run across a grass kind of, I was going to go run to shut the water off. It was really weird. So I jumped up and I started running, and my feet were squishing deep into, I would say, like, how if you're running across a park and the grass is real cut short, it was almost like a squishy, spongy-like feel as I'm running across, like, oh my goodness, the water is infiltrating, right? And next thing I know, I'm like in a car and I'm trying to find a parking spot. And I drive down and I'm starting to see flooding everywhere, to the extent that it was so deep. I literally got out and I looked, you're thinking you're going to come upon like a little puddle, right? And it was literally like the land had tilted into the ocean. And I was looking down deep, and I knew if I went in there, I'd sink. I would go down. I mean, really deep. And so I knew, and I can still remember it right now, that my understanding was it was the ocean. And the land was tilting into the ocean, and it filled up onto the land. And so, yeah, guys, I don't know how close we are to that one vision I got in 2020 where San Diego tilts, but we may be seeing the start of it, because I think it's interesting how God gave me this vision that started off with the volcano-like mud pots of bubbling liquid and gas. And the next step is somehow infiltration of water, throughout the land, like in a way that, I don't know. It is getting crazy, guys. And this weather, we started having lots of volcanic activity, which I believe, and some of it coming out from underneath the ocean, right? And pushing, and what it does is that hot gases and air and mud plastic flows or whatever's going on down under the ocean creates a lot of gaseous evaporation into the atmosphere. And I believe that's what's changing the Southern California coast and even inland, to where we're having drizzle and, light rain even last night. So this is interesting. It was supposed to have been 83 degrees this last weekend, but no, we had drizzle and rainy conditions. So yeah, that's what good old volcanoes do. So talk to you later, guys. Hang in there. We're almost home. But God bless.